And then this is when our popular culture week 25, and we're going to be talking about the Winter Olympics that started yesterday.
The first sport we're going to be talking about is figure skating. Figure skating is one of the most popular Olympic sports. There are 2 different awards ceremonies and 4 different events. So the first 2 events are men's and women's figure skating, and they're separate events. Men and women figure skating is one where figure skaters from around the world represent their own country and skate 2 programs that they choreograph. One is short and one is long. They're scored on the difficulty and execution of their elements, as well as their musicality and how well they skate. The next event is pairs figure skating. Pairs figure skating is very similar to men's and women's figure skating because they do a lot of the same elements, except they just do them like beside each other. There are additional elements as well, including lifts and throws. The last kind of event is ice dancing. Ice dancing is also a team of 2, but the difference is, first of all, they don't choreograph both their programs. There is one that they choreograph, but the other one is compulsory. Furthermore, ice dancers don't do tricks. They just focus on their skating technique and their emotional performances. So there are 2 sets of awards, and each sets of programs are performed twice. The first time they're performed, the country with the highest overall points are awarded medals, and the second time they perform, the individual teams with the highest points are awarded medals.
Okay, so this next is snowboarding, and this was added during the 1998 Olympics in Japan. It has its origins as a sport in 1960s America when people were trying to find a new winter activity, but it's thought to first contested in 1968 when a Michigan engineer named Sherman Poppin stuck 2 skis together and attached a rope at the end, one end for his kids to slide downhill. Despite having only featured at 6 editions, snowboarding has been one of the most popular and exciting games. And the top Olympic snowboarders at Beijing 2022 are Jamie Anderson from USA, who won gold in the women's slopestyle and silver in the big air. 2-time Olympic medalist Eva Simkova won gold and bronze in the snowboard cross at Sochi 2014 and Pyeongchang 2018, respectively. Charlotte Banks won gold at the Worlds in 2021, and other stars in Beijing would be Chloe Kim and Esther Ledezka.
This is bobsleighing. Bobsleighing is a 2-man versus 4-man Olympic sport where, once again, a 2 or 4-person team drives a specially designed sled down an ice track with the winning team completing their route with the fastest time. This has been a sport since the late 1800s and was added to Olympics in 1924. Switzerland and Germany has been by far the most successful bobsledding nations. The Swiss have won more medals in Olympic, World, and European Championships and World Cup competitions than any other nation. And as you can see, these 3 images, the one to the far left includes a 3-people bobsledding. The one in the middle is a 4-people, and then the one to the farthest right is 2 people.
So next I'm going to talk about freestyle skiing. So this is basically a sport where the rider or the player has to sail on an ice surface with the help of jumping skis on a ramp-like structure. The goal is to perform as many aerial flip-flops and spins as possible. Sliding rails and boxes are also used in the sport, which increases the difficulty of the sport. Both men and women are eligible to play the sport, and this is a sport where perfect balance of body and mind is necessary in order to win. The concept of aerial skiing was introduced for the first time in the 1950 Olympics by Stein Eriksen. In 1979, the International Ski Federation, or FSI, recognized freestyle skiing as an official sport. In 1980, the first freestyle skiing world championship was organized. And then in 1988, 8 years later, this game was introduced into the 1988 Winter Olympics.
Lastly is speed skating, and this is when competitors will race each other and traveling a certain distance on skates. There are a few types of speed skating. The first is long track speed skating, short track, and marathon type. Um, the history of speed skating dates back to Europe and Scandinavia and Netherlands, where natives would add bones to their shoes and use them to travel on frozen rivers. But ice skating has always been an activity for recreational sport or joy and not really a matter of transport. In 1592, a Scotsman designed a skate with an iron blade, and that led to speed skating. And thank you. See you next week. Okay, I'll see you guys next week or next this Sunday.